Look around any modern city tonight, and you will see a world defined by its own glow. We've built towering structures of glass and steel, blanketing the darkness with grids of electric light. This industrial infrastructure serves as a permanent physical separation from the wild. Massive slabs of concrete and endless conveyor belts create a buffer, shielding us from the raw, unpredictable forces of the natural world. But if we travel back 20,000 years into the heart of the Ice Age, we have to strip away every layer of that artificial protection. When the buildings turn to dust, we are left standing in a vast, empty, and entirely untamed wilderness. Without walls to block the wind or streetlights to pierce the dark, what did early humans actually experience? What did it feel like to survive on a completely exposed planet? Exploring those raw sensations reveals the origin of our deepest instincts. The harsh realities of the Pleistocene environment forged the survival-based responses that still guide human intuition and behavior today. When the sun rose over the Ice Age landscape, it revealed terrain that was remarkably hostile. Huge, jagged, snow-covered mountains dominated the horizon, massive geological walls that dictated exactly where early humans could migrate. Below the peaks, water flowed with untamed kinetic energy. Instead of the controlled, concrete-dammed channels we use today, wild rivers and multi-tiered waterfalls violently carved their way through the rocky terrain. These valleys belonged to massive herbivores. Roaming herds of mammoths and giant deer with enormous antlers defined a system known as megafaunal ecology. In this environment, sheer physical bulk was the primary requirement for survival. The landscape was incredibly loud. The combined sounds of thousands of massive grazing animals, crashing water, and shifting ice created a constant, deafening roar that easily rivaled the noise of a modern metropolis. During the daylight hours, humans were small players in this theater. We were passive observers trying to navigate an ecosystem that was scaled entirely for giants. As the sun began to set, the landscape became significantly more dangerous. Fading daylight stripped away human visibility, instantly handing the sensory advantage to the predators waiting in the periphery. Apex predators like cave lions and saber-toothed cats thrived in this dim lighting. They used the long, shifting shadows and tall grass to conceal their movements, setting up lethal ambushes within feet of their prey. Being positioned near the bottom of this nighttime food chain required an exhausting level of hypervigilance. Every snapped twig or rustling leaf demanded an immediate fight or flight calculation. Twilight was a stressful, terrifying countdown to total darkness, where every expanding shadow represented a very real physical threat. Once the sun fully disappeared, the absence of artificial light created an absolute pitch blackness. The entire safe zone for a human family shrank down to the flickering radius of a single campfire. But the claustrophobia of that tight perimeter came with an incredible trade-off. Without city lights washing out the atmosphere, all they had to do was look up to see a staggeringly brilliant, unpolluted view of the Milky Way spanning across the silhouetted mountains. They were treated to massive celestial displays. Entire fields of shooting stars and vibrant green auroras danced across the horizon, filling the dark skies with continuous motion and color. The Pleistocene night imposed a terrifying physical isolation on our ancestors, yet it simultaneously gave them an unobstructed, awe-inspiring window into the vast scale of the universe. Making it to morning was a daily validation of human resilience, but every single sunrise simply reset the board, introducing miles of unexplored terrain and fresh challenges to navigate. This split-screen chart maps the peak population density of Pleistocene megafauna against sparse pockets of early humans. But as we animate the timeline forward, the data flips. The megafauna population plummets, while human data aggressively expands, physically overriding the Earth. That massive expansion was driven by a concept known as the prehistoric horizon, the literal physical edge of the unknown that constantly pulled early humans forward, encouraging them to explore the next valley or cross frozen land bridges. The unfiltered Ice Age and its massive creatures have disappeared, but that primal urge to walk toward the mysterious horizon and see what lies beyond the edges of our map remains our greatest evolutionary inheritance.